Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio.
So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. It's time!
Three on the way. Oh! It went in! It went in! And Indiana wins the ball game!
Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni!
Float game for the win! Taylor's gone. Goodbye. Touchdown, Indy. Woo! IU. America. They got a football team now.
It's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
Now, here's Jim Coyle.
Welcome Wednesday. It is. That means it's halfway. You made it to the halfway point, and it's all downhill from here. Appreciate you being with us. Appreciate being with you. Jim Coyle with you as always. Looking forward to another fun day. Dylan Sinn on the dais. Kyle Neddenriep and Bobby Kravitz, Robert Kravitz, Bob Kravitz. Indiana basketball hosting Minnesota tonight for Senior Day. The biggest event going on in the Hoosier blogosphere. Let's see. Other games tonight in the Big Ten. I'm wondering about any other potential senior nights around the league. Well, they always mark them wrong. But anyway, Nebraska got pummeled last night, by the way, out at UCLA. Just got pummeled. Oregon, Illinois took care of business at home against Oregon, easily, 80-54, but Nebraska got beat 72-52. Whew, mercy. Yikes. Sam Hoiberg was the high for Nebraska with 12 points. But tonight, a lot of games around the Big Ten, and I would surmise that most of these are senior night events since this weekend is the last weekend. But some of these teams may have another home game. I'm not going to go through and check all of them, but Ohio State is at Penn State. Maryland is at Wisconsin. Nah. The Ohio State at Penn State, I don't think it matters. I think Ohio State's kind of in unless they went on a 3-game losing streak, which possible. Purdue goes to Northwestern, which, boy, you saw that Matt Painter not happy with the Purdue fans. Well, welcome to the world of today's college basketball, Matt. Purdue is not immune to fans being dejected and depressed all around. Your IU fans, they've been in that boat forever. UK fans, not only UK fans, but former Kentucky players. This is when it gets bad. First of all, there is a fire Mark Pope thread that is just gigantic on the Kentucky on 3 site. And then you've got DeMarcus Cousins calling for Dwayne Peavy as Kentucky's next athletics director. Mitch Barnhart will be retiring on Tuesday. That's per Pete Nakos from On 3. Stepping away from the role over 2 decades where he's been. He was the longest serving athletics director in the SEC. Now leaving the position open. Opinions on who should take over have begun to fly in since the news dropped. Former Kentucky star DeMarcus Cousins voiced his thoughts on social media, calling for Dwayne Peavy to be the next AD. He urged folks making the hire to not overthink this and laid out his reasoning. I believe the next AD for Kentucky should be at Blue Demons AD, Cousins said via X. Let's not overthink this. He fully understands the program and was once part of it and knows the expectations that follow. The perfect guy for the job. He's currently the athletics director at DePaul. It's a pretty good-sized program. And unless you're hiring, I mean, it's still like hiring from within for them. So that's a big hire. And especially right now with college athletics being the way they are, Kentucky football is not, it is what it is. People are not happy with, Russell says Pope wants a GM for a roster construction and managing NIL so he can concentrate on coaching. Well, I'm sure all coaches want that now. It is a separate job. You have to, I don't know how a team doesn't have it now. I mean, even for assistant coaches, and you can have people that are on the look, but guys like Ryan Carr that Indiana just hired. And yesterday you heard Eddie White talking about Ryan Carr from the Pacers, who has been hired by Indiana for that very role as a general manager, player personnel, help find the players, help build the roster now, which one would think that is a coach's job. And it was and always has been. But now that the movement is so quick with the transfers, it's like, boom. Oh, you want to go? Okay, I want to go here. Bam. Plug and play. But the thing is, you don't know who all is going to be entering the portal. So that would seem like it's still something that's very difficult to put together. We'll see how it works out. Mentioned Indiana basketball senior night tonight, taking on Minnesota. Washington hosting USC. That's the other Big Ten game that I mentioned. Other games around... I wonder if there's any other big-time games tonight. I'm sure that there are. Kansas. How about Kansas took it on the chin last night? I think Arizona State may have upset Kansas. That's oh man, I lost that story. But yeah, I had that pulled up. Pretty sure that I saw that. So that's you're going to see that stuff. I mean, it happens all year, and it's going to happen. Brett says that Omar Cooper projected to be a first-round pick. Yeah, I've been saying that for a while. I think that he's going to. I think there are going to be 3 Indiana Hoosiers taken in the first 2 rounds. Just one more in the second round, and I think that's going to be D'Angelo Pons. Dude, man, think about how I don't care what his height is. I could care less. I remember knocking Ty Simpson out of the game, breaking his rib. I remember the hit he put on the tight end in the Miami game, knocking him into the second row. Dude packs a punch and is like Velcro, baby. I think he goes in the second round, joining Omar Cooper from the first and Fernando Mendoza. And Indiana is going to have the most players taken in those rounds, maybe ever. I don't know that they've ever had 2 taken in the first round. I would highly doubt that. It's been a while since they've had 1 taken, but hey, looking forward to that as well. But let's see. Oh, not only did Kansas get beat, I think that Bill Self got tossed in that game on a ejected in the first half against Arizona State with his team trailing just 14 minutes into the game. Some heated words were exchanged regarding a foul on Darren Peterson, the superstar, and out and away he went. Kansas entered the game 21-8 overall, 11-5 in Big 12 play with just 2 games remaining before the conference tournament. Arizona State, meanwhile, is at 15-14 overall, 6-10 in conference play. Bill Self was given a technical, ejected from the game after a foul on Peterson, like I said. So, he got off to a cold start in that game. 0 for 7 shooting. Man. Not very good. Not very good. That's something Indiana cannot do tonight as they take on a Minnesota team that they have already lost to once up in Minneapolis. And Indiana is, everything is a must-win situation. Every game they play from now on. I think that winning tonight leaves them in the tournament. I don't know that losing at Ohio State keeps them in, especially if that is followed by a first game loss in the Big Ten tournament. Who knows how it's going to work out? It's very weak at the bottom, fortunately, again, for Indiana, because this tournament is so tough to get into. And boy, they should expand the tournament because there's just too many teams there at the bottom that are so good that need in. Kidding. Just kidding. But I don't know. If they can get by Ohio State, I would say they're definitely in. But losing to Ohio State, I think that's going to require a win in the Big Ten tournament. So there's that going on. Hey, we've got plenty more coming up as well. Dylan Sinn's going to join me up next. Bob Kravitz later. Kyle Neddenriep as boys sectionals underway. High school's getting at it, baby. Appreciate you being with us. Back with plenty more right after these messages.
Indiana football accomplished what no other team ever has. Big Ten, Rose Bowl, Peach Bowl, and CFP national champions. The Hoosiers have etched their name into the history books as the first 16-0 team in the modern era. A limited edition of only 5,000 commemorative national championship footballs has been released. 3 full panels embossed and stamped with every championship logo and fully licensed. Get your piece of history today at NICOsports.com. That's NICOsports.com. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington has the deals for you, like great savings on the remaining 2025 Hondas. First-time buyers get more than expected. The Honda Civic and HR-V are the most popular vehicles for first-time buyers in the U.S. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington also has a quality selection of pre-certified used vehicles. And check out the selection of Andy Moore Honda Bloomington's 2026 models, like the Honda Passport, Honda CR-V Hybrid, Honda Ridgeline, and more. ISB Radio with Jim Coyle is brought to you exclusively on The Zone by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer. If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage, and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
Bored, Bloomington? Dave & Buster's can fix that. Eat and drink your way through our all-new menu. Play half-price games every Sunday through Thursday. Watch all your team's wins on a 40-foot screen and 30 HD TVs. And level all up with the high-flying human crane that puts you in the game. Private game suites, our exclusive arena, and more. Only at Dave & Buster's on 731 South College Mall Road.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Wednesday. Jim Coyle, Dylan Sinn joining me now as well. And you, appreciate you being with us. Dylan as well. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on, as always, Jim.
Always a pleasure, brother. Always a pleasure. How many miles a year do you put on, do you drive covering events?
That's a good question. Probably about 30,000 a year, generally.
That's it? I would have thought a bit more than that. All those driving.
Depends on the year.
From Fort Wayne all around, but goes to, is that virtually every IU home game? And we'll be there tonight as the Hoosiers host the Golden Gophers in the home finale for Indiana, and the home finale for this group of seniors, a large group of seniors, by the way. My gosh, this is going to be an extended post game tonight with something like 8 seniors going out, I think.
Yeah, like it is a lot of different guys having their moment tonight, and guys who have been a big part of this team all season. I think I did the math a couple of days ago. I think it's more than 80% of IU's scoring production is going to come from this. Is coming from this group of seniors. So it is going to be a lot of guys.
That's probably, isn't that just 2 players?
Yeah, to a certain extent, yes. But yeah, I mean, it was 26 out of 27 points in the second half on Sunday were scored against Michigan State. Were scored by either Wilkerson or DeVries. So yeah, it is a senior heavy group, and they will get their flowers tonight. Mar Wilkerson, Tucker DeVries, Tayton Connerway, Sam Alexis, Connor Enright, Reed Bailey, all these guys are going to get their flowers tonight, and hopefully go out with a win in their final game at Assembly Hall.
Yeah, and it's weird though. I sit there and I think, not that long ago, just a year or two ago, it seems that these guys were going through senior night, and it was truly somewhat emotional. You've spent, I spent 4 years, sometimes 5 years at a place. Now there is not a senior on. I'm not even looking at the roster, but there's not a senior on the roster that has spent more than a single season at Indiana, and that's just a little strange. I'm wondering what do you think about when you're, this is the last. Oh, thank you for all these. Oh no, just the last year. 3 years ago, I was in Tucson, Arizona. 2 years ago, I was in Toledo, Ohio. It's just a weird thing, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, I absolutely understand what you're saying. It's interesting. I think for Lamar specifically, a guy who came to Indiana in large part because he wanted to play in front of this crowd and at Assembly Hall and be a part of that whole environment. I think that it'll be special for him. I mean, he's had a lot of really good games at Assembly Hall, a lot of games where the fans went nuts for him. And I think getting to do that one last time, I think will be a motivating factor for him. And I think he'll be able to kind of soak in, especially a lot of adulation from these fans who have seen him carry this team to wins that it probably shouldn't have had, frankly, over the course of the year, and put together performances that people will remember for a long time. I mean, that 44 points that he scored against Penn State in December, that's going to be a game that people remember for a long dang time, right? Like that is a game that people are going to think about. Same with his game against Wisconsin, where he scored basically every point in overtime and they beat Wisconsin. Like those are games you remember, right? This season has not gone the way he probably would have wanted, the way this team has probably would have wanted. But there are moments from this season you'll remember that were fun that you can take away, and that's what you should be thinking about tonight.
Yeah, and then Gritty pointing out that senior night festivities wisely are taking place prior to the game.
Yes.
Man, so that's a first, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously in football, you have like the guys run out on the field and get it recognized before the game. But basketball, yeah, there's usually been kind of after the game. But the thing with basketball is that usually senior day is like an afternoon game, right? And you don't really have a whole lot else to do. This is a Wednesday. The game, it tips off at 6:30. If you're doing senior day for 8 guys, you're not getting out of there till 10:30, right? So they don't want these fans to have to stick around for a super long time. And so yeah, having it before the game probably makes a little bit of sense. Although you have to hope the fans are there because it's been some late arriving crowds recently.
Thoughts out to James and his family. He lost a cousin, so thinking about you, man. But yeah, it is a night where these guys will be playing their last game, but not only that, it is a game that is a must win. It could be the last chance they have. Well, it is a last chance. Every game is a last chance because every game is a must win scenario from here out for this team. Even if they win this game, I'm thinking that they have to win at Ohio State. I don't know that. I'm not a bracket analyst, whatever.
Yeah.
But I just feel pretty comfortable saying that they have to win at Ohio State with a win tonight. And if they lose tonight, it's over.
Yeah, I think that's probably the state of play. I think that might not even be enough. Like, yeah, I think you have to win these two, and then you probably have to win 2 games in the Big Ten tournament. Would be my guess. To get to 21 wins and give yourself a shot. Like, I mean, right now, I looked at CBS this morning. They're not even among the first 4 out. Right? They have a lot of ground to make up. That loss.
But Mike, Joe Lenardi they're the last team in.
Yeah, Joe Lenardi has been one of the less accurate bracketologists over the last several years. If there's a discrepancy, it's probably best to look at other sources. And there's a discrepancy over IU because
Mike
their net.
DeCourcy?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Mike DeCourcy is particularly high on Indiana. If I remember correctly, the last time I checked, it's been a couple days.
No.
So it is one of those things where they're going to need to do a lot of impressive things over the next couple of games here, including winning at Ohio State on Sunday, or on Saturday, I should say. That's a quad one game. Ohio State is also somewhat near the bubble, so have to win that one, have to win tonight, and then probably have to win at least one and probably two in the Big Ten tournament. It really is, that game against Northwestern is really what did them in. That one is one that you're going to think about. If they don't end up making it, that's one you're going to think about in the offseason. Like, dang, we let that one get away. And so now you have a larger hill to climb, right? You have to make up for that with what you do over this last week of the season and next week in Indianapolis in the conference tournament. And so they talked about it on Sunday, or I guess after the Michigan State game, Lamar and Tucker did, where they played okay in that game. Michigan State's a really good team. Michigan State played well too, and Indiana lost. But they did what they needed to do from an intensity standpoint. They just didn't quite execute well enough. And that would have been okay if they had any margin for error, but they didn't have any margin for error. And now you have zero margin for error, right? You are out of runway. You have to win tonight. There's just no way around it. It is win or go home, basically. You are starting your NCAA tournament tonight. And so, all right, let's see what you got for me, right? Like, what do you have in the tank? What can you pull from and say we need a win as badly as we have all season? What do we have for the fans in the stadium and for ourselves in our last game on senior day to give ourselves a chance going forward?
Yeah, I'm looking at Mike's brackets, and Indiana is the first team out.
Okay.
So again, they're close. A win tonight puts them back in my opinion. But of course, it also depends on what the teams right in front of them do. You've got New Mexico Lobos, or is that New Mexico State?
New Mexico Lobos, yeah, Lobos.
Yeah. And Ohio State, Southern Cal, who Indiana lost to, but it has been struggling a little bit, and VCU. But then you've got that game right there with Ohio State. So there's a one-on-one, mano-a-mano matchup right there. Even if they win tonight, and let's say they slid back in that next line, they're going to play Ohio State. I think the loser of that game, if Ohio State were to lose at home to Indiana, they would be out. And so, but then you go to the Big Ten tournament for both of those teams. If you win a game, are you back in? We're going to have to wait until the games are played. That is just pure and simple. I mean, we can all sit here and guess. I can sit here and guess all I want. I can tell you but it is what it is, and it comes with winning, pure and simple.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, you have dug yourself a little bit of a hole here if you're Indiana. And now the only way out is to win, right? Like you can't be. You have to earn the right to scoreboard watch, right? You're gonna have to win. You're gonna have to get some help. You have to earn the right to scoreboard watch by winning. And that starts tonight, and it's the Minnesota team that beat them in Minneapolis back in December for their first loss of the season. There should be a little bit of get back on their mind against a team that really outworked them on the glass. It's not the only team that did that this season, but it was the team that really it gave them what at the time kind of felt like a welcome to the Big Ten moment, where there was a level of physicality that they didn't match in that first game. And they've gotten better at that as the season has gone on, but they need to really bring it tonight against the Minnesota team that is playing, as Darren DeVries said on his radio show Monday, playing basically 6 guys. There is no depth on that team right now. They've had some injuries. And so can you go out there and be as tough as that Minnesota team? Because that Minnesota team is going to try to win this game with physicality, just like it did a couple months ago.
I'm surprised, even though I know he's a freshman, and that he's not using Trent Sisley a little more for nothing else. Get him minutes. Prepare him for next season. Prepare him for next year. Get him in there a little bit, but because there are times like the other day, man. Everybody having the green light can be good, but it cannot be good. Late in the game, Indiana really needed to score, and they quickly get the ball up the floor within seconds. And a shot goes up by somebody who's not a big-time scorer. A 3-point shot goes up by someone who's not, within like 7 seconds of the possession. And I'm like, why are you doing that? And it's that constant lack of understanding. Well, there's no way they're going to get a rebound if the shot doesn't go down, because half the damn team is not even up the floor yet. And so if I had to pick something that I wouldn't like, that I don't like about that team or how they play or how they're being allowed to play, is that it's all gas and no breaks whatsoever. And like I said, yeah, that can be good, but there comes a time where you have to, hey, let's run something here. Let's purposely try to score, not just get a shot up. But that's me, and I'm not claiming to be a coach.
Yeah, no, and I absolutely understand that as well. And I think you're probably right. There does just need to be a little bit better shot selection. I think the other thing is that there needs to be more movement. Like a strength of Indiana's at the beginning of the season and through the middle of the season, frankly, was its movement off the ball. They were cutting hard. They were moving. It was everywhere. It was really, really good. And they are still in the top 10 in the country in assist rate, where the percent of their field goals that are assisted. I think they're around 55% of their field goals are assisted this season. I think that's 9th in the country the last time I checked. But it's been like below 45% over the last couple of games here. It wasn't
good really in the Michigan State game. Yeah,
wasn't good in the Michigan State game. Frankly, wasn't good in the Northwestern game. Wasn't good in the Purdue game. There's a lot of standing around in a way there wasn't early in the season. I don't really know why that is, but that's something that needs to be fixed tonight, right? You need to get back to, if this team has roots, those roots are in moving without the ball, finding guys, and creating open shots with your ball movement. And that just hasn't been something they've done over the last couple of games, as they've lost 4 in a row here. And I don't really know why or how they got away from that. There's just been a lot more basically, all right, let's have Lamar or Tucker bail us out at the end of a shot clock. Otherwise, we're not really scoring. And so that needs to change tonight. I think that needs to be a renewed emphasis is, hey, if you don't have the ball, move, cut, go somewhere, set a screen, do something. And that's been a huge piece of their offense this year, but it hasn't been recently. So how do you fix that? Has to be an emphasis for the coaches these last couple of days, I think.
Well, the question is why? Where did it go?
Where did it go?
Also, but they have changed. Tayton Connerway was the head of the snake with the ball, and now that has changed since he got injured. But since he seems to be healthy, he's not. When he comes off the bench, even he's not providing a lot. It's a weird situation.
I mean, it is weirdly. I think he's providing a fair amount, but he had 12 points on 6 for 6 against Purdue. He was the only guy, or I guess Northwestern. He was the only guy that was consistent in that game. He had 5 for 7 from the field against Purdue. He's the only guy that was consistent in that game. But then against Michigan State, he played 7 minutes and didn't play in the second half. And the reason they did that was because they were getting killed on the glass, and they thought Josiah Miles was really working hard on the boards, which frankly he was. If you watch that game, Josiah Miles
6 rebounds, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. He stood out to me as a guy who was just leaving it all out there. So I understand why they went with him. Frankly, I think they should have gone with Connerway over Connor Enright. Connor Enright was not having a good game. He wasn't shooting the ball well. He wasn't moving the ball. Get Connerway in there in that spot if you want to have Josiah Miles in the game, because Connerway is a guy. He's one of the only guys in the team outside of Lamar who can win off the dribble consistently. And when you win off the dribble and you get in the lane, that creates opportunities to move the ball. And they just don't have a lot of those right now. And I think there's a guy on their bench who they're not utilizing as well as they should, who can help with that in Connerway. And they didn't do it against Michigan State. They didn't do it as much as I would have liked against Northwestern, especially in that second half when he was playing really well. I think that needs to change tonight. I would like to see Connerway get more minutes. I'm not saying he needs to go back in the starting lineup, as Nick Doran seems to have kind of.
Why not?
Maybe he should. Yeah, I wouldn't be against it if that's what they decided to do. But even if that's not what they decided to do, get him 20 minutes, man. Get him in the game. Get him moving the offense, right? Nick Doran has come out of his shooting funk a little bit recently, so it's not the worst thing to have him in there. But give some minutes to Tayton Connerway take some from Connor Enright, take some from Nick Doran, and figure out a way to get him on the floor, because he is a guy that really creates offense for you. And it's a good defensive player too. He's not great. He's not as good as I thought he was going to be, but he is a good defensive player as well. So you're not losing a ton when you have him out there in that area either. So I think he needs to be a bigger part of the game plan going forward. That to me is a big part of why the offense has changed. You're absolutely right.
Dylan Sinn from the Fort Wayne Journal-Gazette with me right now. We've got more coming up, and Indiana hosting Minnesota tonight at the Simon Scott Assembly Hall. If you can't make it to the game, but you are around the Bloomington area, you can head out to Dave & Buster's. Check out those 3 gigantic wall TVs. You can take the kids, let them go play on half-price games while you watch the game. Yeah, sounds like a winner. Back with more Indiana Sports Beat Radio right after these messages.
The ISC Sports Network is your home for sports content across the Hoosier State. Find us live on TV and streaming or archived on our website and our app. The ISC is your one-stop shop for the content you want to see, including high school sports, college sports, and other great events throughout the year. Subscribe to our streaming service and get access to it all. ISC. Local lives here.
If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington has the deals for you, like great savings on the remaining 2025 Hondas. First-time buyers get more than expected. The Honda Civic and HR-V are the most popular vehicles for first-time buyers in the U.S. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington also has a quality selection of pre-certified used vehicles. And check out the selection of Andy Moore Honda Bloomington's 2026 models, like the Honda Passport, Honda CR-V Hybrid, Honda Ridgeline, and more. ISB Radio with Jim Coyle is brought to you exclusively on The Zone by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer.
Dave & Buster's Bloomington is the place to eat, drink, play, and watch. Enjoy half-price games every Sunday through Thursday, a new menu to dig into, and next-level upgrades like private game suites, the high-flying human crane that puts you in the game, our exclusive arena, and more. Only at Dave & Buster's Bloomington, 731 South College Mall Road.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Wednesday. Jim Coyle with you as always. Dylan Sinn from the Fort Wayne Journal-Gazette joining as well. Happy to have you along. Indiana hosting Minnesota tonight at the Simon Scott Assembly Hall. What time is that game, Dylan?
6:30 start time.
6:30. I was at 45 stuck in my head from the other day, I believe. That's an odd start time for a game unless they have 15 minutes of pregame.
Well, the idea was that they had the Purdue game was at 1:30, and so on the same channel on CBS, and so for years people have complained, well, it's a 2-hour window, but the game goes more than 2 hours, and you're cutting into the next game.
Every time.
They finally got smart and built in 15 extra minutes just in case, and it turned out it absolutely needed it because that Purdue game went until about 2:40, and so 3:40.
But here's my question. Who cares if you miss the first 5 minutes of a stinking basketball game? What has ever happened in the first 5 minutes of a basketball game? Yeah, I mean,
at least one.
I don't think Bob Knight ever got a technical in the first 5 minutes of a game. Maybe 6, but not the first 5. I'm telling you. Even Bill Self, who got booted out of the game the other night, it took him 14 minutes to get booted out. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was 14 minutes into the game. So, yeah, it took him 14 minutes. Although he says, by no stretch did I do anything to deserve a second technical foul. Damn it. And I'm going to tell somebody about it. I'm going to speak my truth. That's one of my favorite phrases today of people. I'm going to speak my truth.
What is your truth, Jim?
My truth is enjoying other people's truths.
That's right.
Yeah, that is it, man. That is it. I talked earlier about there's a lot of dejected, depressed fan bases right now. A lot of pissed off fan bases. Of course, Indiana, is perpetual in that situation. And right now, you've already got which I do not, only if I'm having to post something on there do I see Facebook. That is like, I'm telling you people, that is like it's like a swamp, like quicksand. Dylan, am I like right in where?
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it is. Boy, people are not happy when they're on Facebook. It is a place for people to gather who are very upset, and that's all social media, but Facebook to a large extent, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's so funny. But anyway, you can't. I have certain people. Oh, this is not. I'm like, dude, you gotta. It may not be, but you can't go there right now. You just can't. You just, to me, it just looks stupid. It does. It just looks dumb. It's just dumb. Just have the sense to wait. You're not even through the season yet. I understand. Didn't go I don't know what people's expectations were. Were they? I mean, they're only probably what the hell is? Let me get to the standings. Get to the Big Ten. I can't remember exactly. I know Indiana's won 17 games overall.
17-12, 8-10 in conference play.
Yeah. So let's see. I'm going to say there's probably at least 2 games they should have won that they didn't win.
Yeah.
That
probably
the night.
Probably the Northwestern game and probably the first Minnesota game. I think are the two that you.
The Northwestern. Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
I wanted to say that first Minnesota game, but I don't know. Minnesota's got 3 freaking quad 1 wins. They beat Michigan State and whomever else they beat that were quad 1 wins. So they're not some Schlacker, they're right behind US. They're tied with USC in the damn standings, and USC is in the tournament right now. So yeah, Minnesota is no slouch yourself, Dr. Beepers.
I mean, they should have won that Nebraska game being up 16. I think that's one where it's like, okay, you ran out of gas, right? Like, what did you need to do to get over the hump in that game, basically, to use a favorite phrase of the fan base?
I would go forward to say that they should have won that game more than the Minnesota game.
That's probably right. Yeah.
Because I think the Minnesota game at the beginning of the year, they were shell-shocked. Welcome to the Big Ten, boys. Yeah. Because these guys had never played in the Big Ten. And I don't care who it was. Minnesota was ready to go in the barn. So, when you're up 16, I don't give a crap who it is against. It's up to you. They should have won that game and the Northwestern game. And those two, I'm not going to pound on them for other games. It's those two. And that would, okay, so they fell 2 games short of expectations. I don't know that that's enough for people to go crazy about, especially with the team that from the start of the season we knew was marginal and was going to struggle the very ways in which they have struggled, Dylan.
Yeah, no, and I think that's fair. And to me, when I came into the season, expectations for me, like the level I set was, okay, last year Louisville did this same thing. Louisville, when they hired Pat Kelsey, they had nobody on that roster. They built an entire roster in one offseason, and they were an 8 seed in the tournament. They lost in the first round. That to me was the like, all right, if you do that, the season will be a success, right? And because we had a recent example of a team that Indiana believes is on its level, doing exactly what Indiana had done with a new coach and an entirely new roster, and that's how far they got, right? And so they haven't gotten there. That to me, they are below the standard of where I thought success would be. But I don't know that I don't think it's been so bad that you can say, well, that this entire season is a wash and there's nothing. We didn't learn anything. We didn't build anything. I think that there are going to be guys from this team that are on the next good Indiana team. I don't know how many of them, maybe only a few, but there are going to be guys that you can carry forward from this team. I think that Nick Dorn is a good piece to have going forward. I think that Trent Sisley is a good piece to have going forward if they can keep him. I think that Josiah Miles can be a good player for them next year. The question will be this offseason, right? Because Darren DeVries was hired and it was late, right? Like, I mean, not late for a coaching hire, but it's late for getting things ready to go in the portal. You have to have players ready to go in the portal right away. And so that roster last season, as new rosters are in college basketball these days, was built on the fly, right? And they have more time this year to go out and get the guys they want and the guys that make more sense together. Can you do that? This offseason is going to be the one. Wait until May, I guess, would be my advice to fans who are already fed up with the current regime. Wait until May. Wait to see what kind of roster you can put together for next season. And then we can talk about, okay, what is the direction of this program, right? Because they have the general manager in there. They have time to go get guys. They have roster spots open for impact players. Let's see what you can do this offseason, right?
In about a week.
That would be my advice to fans. Wait until May. Wait until you're about to play the audio. Wait until Huber's this season, right? Then decide what you think about the entire regime. Okay, that would be my advice to fans.
Yeah, I'll have to wait and find that probably by shifting through that. But I quickly started to think, and I think I asked Darren that very thing at Huber's last year. And let's see. Add him in
the
here.
University, the town, everything is starting from scratch there. But I think the biggest thing is just getting them all together, getting them on the same page, and watching how that plays out in terms of roles and connectivity and things, because you don't have anything else to go off of other than, maybe, especially within the portal, there wasn't long recruitments in a lot of cases with that stuff. So for us, it's about figuring things out as we go as well, and they're figuring one another out. They're figuring out their new coaches. Coaches are figuring out each other and the new players. So but it's also a fun process too. It's fun to see where it starts in June and where it ends up by the end of in March.
That was Darren DeVries at Huber's last May. I think I missed just the start of that because that was my question. I could tell he was looking right at me, but I'm pretty certain I asked him about the rebounding, how it was going to be difficult. And he acknowledged that, we're going to have to, do some things to work around that. And, well, they haven't, is the problem. And that, I just talked about there's 2 games they should have won. In reality, though, if they had been able to do a few, just 1 or 2 of these specific things, rebounding being one of them, that changes the outcome in many of these games, I think. I think that single facet of not being able to rebound the ball has cost them more games than any other particular thing.
Yeah, and that is the thing, right? That's why I'm saying wait till May, because they are going to go out this offseason. They're going to have to get some big guys, right? Like, let's see what they do in that area. They weren't able to, and that is the problem, right? Darren DeVries clearly thought, like, he hasn't said this out loud, but I think he clearly thought, look, I have heard so much about shooting from these people, right? They are starved for shooting. It has been 8 years where he looked at the numbers. He was like, it has been 8 years where they have not been able to make a three, and it's driving these fans crazy. The way to these fans' hearts, I think was his mindset, was the way to these fans' hearts is to get a bunch of 3-point shooters and just fire away, right? And so they built this roster around guards and wings, which I think was a fine plan. And then they kind of the centers were kind of an afterthought. The big guys were kind of an afterthought, but they at least got Reed Bailey and they at least got Sam Alexis. And the problem there is they got 2 guys that are at least nominal big guys, but Sam Alexis is undersized and Reed Bailey isn't strong enough to really bang on the block and get rebounds, right?
Exactly.
I think that if you were going to spend more of your like financial resources on guards and wings, that's fine. But if you were going to do that, you needed to nail the big guys that you did get, because you were obviously going to have less depth there, and you weren't going to have as much the resources to go get a really, really high level big guy because you spent so much on guards and wings. I don't want to bang on Reed Bailey because there's the whole thing about the fans booing him, which I think is a bad idea. Just like booing a guy when he comes in the game, I think that's a bad idea. But what are you going to do?
It's pointless. It's pointless.
Yeah,
why are you booing him? Why
right.
are you? I would like to know what the reason. Because he's not the player you wished him to be. He is what he was, man. I don't. That's ridiculous.
Right. And so I don't want to bang on the kid because I think he's worked hard. I think he's played hard, but he has not been as productive as I think they thought he was going to be.
Exactly.
Right? And so I think they thought he could be a really versatile guy at the 5 for them, a guy who could handle the ball a little bit, who could pass. Like, that's a big part of this too, is that a lot of it early in the year, he was a big passer for them out of the high post. Like, that was a big piece of the offense that has just gone away in the second half of the season. He's kind of lost a little bit of confidence. And so I think that they thought they were going to get more from him than they did. And so, and to be fair, I think they've gotten more from Sam Alexis than they might have thought. Sam Alexis has been terrific this year. I've been so impressed by the way a guy who's 6'9" has been able to hold his own in the Big Ten with some of the physical guys that are in the post in the Big Ten. But Bailey is a guy who they really, I think, needed a lot from, and they haven't quite gotten it. And that's like, if you are going to focus so many of your resources on guards and wings, you have to nail the one big guy that you get, and they didn't really nail it, right? They didn't get the guy that is going to average 12 points and 7 rebounds and just kind of be an innings eater there for you to kind of mix your metaphors with baseball. But they didn't quite get that guy. And so now in this offseason, all right, how do you fix it? How do you fix it without going overboard? How do you fix it without becoming the Mike Woodson teams where you're entirely based around the post, right? Like, you need to make sure you fix it without going overboard the other way and unbalancing the roster the opposite direction, right? So I think that is going to be their task here as the portal opens. How do you go about making the front court better without degrading the quality of the backcourt? Because the backcourt, I think, has been at least pretty good. I think we can all agree this year at times. So that is going to be the thing, is balancing the roster and not going too far the other direction.
Yeah, that is it. They just misevaluated Reed Bailey, like you just
I think
said.
that is the best way to put it. Yes.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's why you have a Ryan Carr on staff now to not make those mistakes, because it has. And it's part of the reason why Trent Sisley's not playing, because they don't have a center, so the guys are in front of him. I mean, I'd still like to see him getting more minutes. I just can't see that with as much as he played earlier and played in Big Ten games that he can't play now. It's weird, but we see that. I mean, roster or rotations get smaller as you go down, but this one's really small. Unless there's a foul situation, he keeps it, really, really tight. And I'm surprised to see his minutes have gone away like they have, instead of at least stayed the same. I mean, you get more experience as you go, and it gives you fresher body. But that's another thing. If they were going as hard as they had been at the start of the season, like you mentioned at the start, of cutting as hard as they were and moving like they were, they would probably be a little more tired and need a breather. But the fact that they're able to go that length, all of them, maybe they're not playing as hard as they could be.
Maybe that's part of it. I think with Sisley, it is one of those things where a big part of his game in high school was shooting. And he hasn't shot the ball well this year. And I think that if he's going to be on the court, he needs to be a stretch forward type. And he's rebounded okay. But he is not, it seems like there are times where he gets on the court and he doesn't have quite the confidence he did at the start of the year. I think it kind of might be a little bit of a situation where he's not quite as sure of himself as he was earlier. And I also think part of it is that Nick Dorn came back and emerged as a big piece for them. Josiah Miles has really taken some minutes here recently, and those guys play his position. And so those are eating into the minutes that he already didn't have a ton of minutes. He was getting maybe 10 to 15 a game back in December and November. But those guys are eating into his minutes now. So there are other guys at his position that are getting the first run off the bench. And so then when he comes in, he has maybe 3 or 4 minutes to make an impact, and that's just no way to get into a rhythm, right? And so it's a tough spot for him where the minutes have squeezed and other guys have stepped up, and it's a tough situation.
Dylan Sinn from the Fort Wayne Journal-Gazette. Make sure you're giving him a follow. We'll see you tonight, sir. Safe travels.
Absolutely, John. About to go as soon as I get off here. About to go get in the car and head to Bloomington. Looking forward to it.
All right, buddy. We'll see you down there. There he is. Appreciate you. Dylan Sinn joining us here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Much more coming up. Make sure you're giving me a follow as well at Jim Coyle ISB on the X account. And if you're following on social media, on the show or whatever, make sure you hit subscribe and the like button. It helps us a lot, hitting that like button. Just hit the like button. That's all you got to do. Bam. Boom. It's right there. Boom. Hit it. Appreciate you. No flipping. We've got lots more coming up, of course. Kyle Neddenriep will join us. I had to say, boys, sectionals getting underway, baby. It's here. Tourney time all the way around us. Big Ten Conference play beginning next week. It's all ready to roll, as are we, with more right after these messages.
Indiana football accomplished what no other team ever has. Big Ten, Rose Bowl, Peach Bowl, and CFP national champions. The Hoosiers have etched their name into the history books as the first 16-0 team in the modern era. A limited edition of only 5,000 commemorative national championship footballs has been released. 3 full panels embossed and stamped with every championship logo and fully licensed. Get your piece of history today at NICOsports.com. That's NIKCOSPORTS.com. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington has the deals for you, like great savings on the remaining 2025 Hondas. First-time buyers get more than expected. The Honda Civic and HR-V are the most popular vehicles for first-time buyers in the U.S. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington also has a quality selection of pre-certified used vehicles. And check out the selection of Andy Moore Honda Bloomington's 2026 models, like the Honda Passport, Honda CR-V Hybrid, Honda Ridgeline, and more. ISB Radio with Jim Coyle is brought to you exclusively on The Zone by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer. If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
Bored, Bloomington? Dave and Buster's can fix that. Eat and drink your way through our all-new menu. Play half-price games every Sunday through Thursday. Watch all your team's wins on a 40-foot screen and 30 HD TVs. And level it up with the high-flying human crane that puts you in the game. Private game suites, our exclusive arena, and more. Only at Dave & Buster's on 731 South College Mall Road.
Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio. On this Wednesday, you made it to the halfway point. It's all downhill from here. Jim Coyle with you as always. Glad to be here. Just waiting for the spring, baby. Just waiting for the spring. Man, this last little cold snap has been, it felt colder than it was. That ice, whew, I got cold looking out the window. It made me cold. I don't like it. Not a fan. Gonna get up to 62 today. It's colder than that inside. But hopefully, what's it? We got anything coming good? Wait, what? Hello. Looking ahead, not very far. Gee whiz. Temperatures are going to skyrocket. They're going to be in the 60s. 60 yesterday, 62 today, 65 tomorrow with rain expected through both of those. But then on Friday, Kyle Neddenriep bringing the heat, baby. It's going to be 77 on Friday. What in the wide world of sports is going on, baby?
I'll be wearing my cargo shorts and a tank top to sectional semifinal night.
I'm telling you, I remember, when I was in high school, we were getting ready for the regionals, going to Seymour. It was cold. I mean, it was 30 degrees cold, which is normal for February. But yeah, like you said, you'll look for the guy in the tank top, shorts, the jorts and work boots. That'll be Kyle Neddenriep.
Yeah, man. 77. I'm not complaining.
Hell, who is? He's got his Detroit Tigers hat on proudly again. Spring training, baby. It's time. Baseball's here.
I got a complaint to make, though. The Tigers unveiled these new orange alternate uniforms, which I liked them when they put them out, but they're wearing them like every day. So I don't know. It kind of
takes away the novelty.
Yeah, it kind of takes away the novelty a little bit. They kind of look like the Orioles.
Starts to burn the retinas a little bit.
Yeah, they look too much like the Orioles. I like the change up, but let's not wear them every day.
Yeah, who would want to wear orange every day? That's exactly. It's a little bright. But speaking of bright, the lights on all of the high school gyms around the state of Indiana this weekend, Kyle, as It's sectional time, baby, and there's not a bigger weekend around than sectionals because every team in the state is playing and in the tournament at least for one game.
Yeah, it's my favorite week of the. To me, it's busy. You don't sleep a whole lot this week, but it's a great week because it's rivalries, it's buzzer beaters. We had Rich Torres for us was over at the Anderson Pendleton Heights game last night. Anderson hit a buzzer beater to beat Pendleton. That was a very good game, 53-51. I had two really good games at Noblesville last night. Not a buzzer beater, but both games were decided basically in the last 90 seconds. And Noblesville beat Zionsville 42-38, and HSC beat Westfield 68-61. So now HSC, they've won 8 in a row, and they play Fishers on Friday night. And that, of course, that's a district rivalry and a team, I think, in HSC that, if there's any teams in the tournament that, I think matches up pretty well with Fishers, it's got to be this team. They, and HSC knows them very well. Obviously, they're right next to each other, and the schools are, and those kids know each other growing up, and there's no fear, I would say, from the HSC side. But they also are just very, really balanced and physical. Varshawn Clark is a sophomore who people are going to hear a lot more about from HSC. Really nice player. He had 18 points last night. But just hard to defend this team. So I'll be curious to see how that game goes Friday night. But also Noblesville, they're a little bit shorthanded. Justin Curry's out for the season with an ACL injury. But Barron Walker, who's going to Butler, really showed up big in the fourth quarter last night. He ended up with 20 points, 20 out of their 42. So that felt like even more for him. But that was a very good game as well. Noblesville, that sectional, whether it's at Carmel or Noblesville, it almost always produces a great game. So there were definitely two of those last night. So now it's Carmel, Noblesville, and Fishers HSC on Friday at sectional 8.
So are any major surprises just yet already?
Well, one of them,
I mean, we're early. I get that because it just literally started, and there's been one night of games.
Yeah, one night of games. There's, the way it's constructed now, there's less 4A teams, so you don't have as many weekday games in 4A.
Oh, okay.
There are some. I mean, and I was at a couple of them last night. I would say, the near upset, I would say, was the biggest was Park Heritage, which has been to the semi-state 3 years in a row, and I think is a contender to win the whole thing this year. They went to overtime at Greencastle and had to win in overtime to just get through the first round. Greencastle playing at home, that's a tough, thing to do. And they had beat them already this season twice. So beating the team 3 times is difficult. Park Heritage did win by 12 in overtime, so they pulled away in overtime. But that one really caught my eye. I did not expect them to have that much trouble there, and they should roll, I think, in the next 2 games at Greencastle and get through there. But that was one in 2A that really caught my attention. There were a few other kind of close games, I would say, that were of interest, like Chesterton beating Portage. That was a really good first round game, 56-46 up at Chesterton. Mishawaka almost beat South Bend Adams. Adams is a good team this year. That was a 2-point game. So that one was a little bit of a surprise. Avon playing without their best player, Jalen Manette. They took Brownsburg down to the wire, 54-49. Brownsburg did win, and that, talk about a heavyweight matchup on Friday at Plainfield. Pike and Plainfield play each other at 6 p.m. and then Ben Davis and Brownsburg the following game. So that's going to be a great atmosphere at Plainfield. I heard that's already sold out for Friday. So that's going to be awesome. Yeah, that's
where is that? Is that at Plainfield?
At Plainfield. Pike 21.
What size gym is that?
It's probably, I would say, in the neighborhood of, oh shoot, I'm bad at I would say like over 3,000, between 3,000 and 4,000. So it's pretty decent size. But it's that's
a normal Indiana neighborhood. Just that's an average Indiana neighborhood.
Right. And it'll be, I would say you're definitely the headliners, that Pike Plainfield game, and that's might be the best game in the state, at least, looking at it on paper. So that'll be a fun one. But yeah, I would say, there was like I said, a handful of games I thought that were of interest, and some of them went to form. Most of them went to form, I would say. I don't think there's any like major shocking surprises. Charlestown beating Cordon Central by 5 in overtime. That was big because Charlestown now will probably play Silver Creek in the championship at Madison. So Silver Creek's an absolute juggernaut. They're rolling. I don't know if anybody's going to beat them in 3A or even compete with them the way they've been going. But Charlestown does have Anthony Fresh. He's a really good player, and they're going to be heavy favorites against Madison in the semifinal. And Silver Creek should get through Brownstown Central, and I think Silver Creek will beat Charlestown also. But that could be a team that could give them a little bit of trouble, you would think.
Well, it sounds like the fun has already begun, but the big boys, they will tip it off, I assume, on Friday, or any games on Thursday?
There's some games tonight.
Tonight?
There are a handful of games tonight around, if you have a 7-team sectional, there are some games tonight. But yeah, most of the, and I would say probably the Mishawaka would be a good place to be tonight. They're Penn plays Michigan City, and South Bend Riley plays LaPorte. All of 4 of those teams have at least 15 wins, between 15 and 19. So that's a really good bracket there. South Bend St. Joe is also in that field. They're already into the semifinal, but that would be a good one to see tonight. I'm going to be at Greenwood, Class 3A at Greenwood. That's sectional 28. Indian Creek plays Beech Grove in the first game, but really the headliner there tonight is New Pal and Roncalli. New Pal won it last year. They have a lot different team this year. They graduated most of their production from a year ago, but they're still tough. They're still a good, kind of have that championship residue to them. And Roncalli's a senior dominated team. So that'll be a fun game tonight at Greenwood. And then the other side of that bracket, you have Shelbyville and Greenwood, who are also a really good team. So that's just a good field overall there. But looking forward to seeing that one tonight down at Greenwood. But yeah, there's a lot of the 1As play tonight because those are bigger sectional field. Lagodi and Bar Reef play tonight. That would be a fun one to go to if you're down in the Lagodi area.
Maybe those are programs that go way back right there in high school basketball.
Yeah, not a lot of love lost, I would say, between those long time powerhouse programs, really. So that's at 6 p.m. tonight. Also interesting there, Josh Thompson was the Bar Reef coach for several. He won state in 21, and now he's the first-year coach at Lagodi. So that adds another element to that rivalry there. So
we have some boos raining down. Boo!
Exactly. Yeah. Bring it at 6 p.m. if you're down at Lagodi.
That's right down the road, man.
Yeah,
literally right down the road.
But there's some good ones. Like I said, a lot of the 1A teams play tonight. I think almost every sectional in 1A has games tonight.
Let's see. I'm trying to look around the central Indiana area, Bloomington area. I'm trying to find the schedule, who playing who, and I cannot pull it up. But what about any? I know Evansville doesn't have a lot of strong teams this year. Fort Wayne has a couple. Bloomington, let's see, they're
Bloomington South's pretty good. I
was going to say South has got a little shot at doing some damage.
Yeah, North is not bad either. North, the issue for them will be Terre Haute North is really good. Bloomington South though did beat Terre Haute North during the season. That was very early in the year, and since then, Terre Haute North, now they're ranked 7th in 4A now, and they have not lost since that game. That was December 19th. So going all the way back to they were 2-3. Now they're 21-3. So Terre Haute North has a good chance to, I think, to make it to the semi-state and maybe make some noise there. They're a good team. I remember watching them in the summer, thinking, this could be a kind of a sleeper team that, not a sleeper necessarily. They're always pretty good, but I think maybe a team that's a little bit off the radar that we're not talking about enough in 4A. And I think that I still believe that. I think they're going to, they do play Bloomington North, and then they would have to beat South on Saturday, most likely. So not the easiest route there and they're going over, I believe that sectionals at Martinsville. So both they have to travel over again to play over in Martinsville. So that'll be interesting. I think I like Terre Haute North though to get through there.
Oh man, I looked down at Seymour, Floyd Central, Jeffersonville, New Albany, Scottsburg, Bedford, North Lawrence, and Seymour. Not really a strong Southern Indiana team this year from comparative to normal times.
I'd say New Albany's a team. I think they're tested. They came up here a few times and played some good teams here. I like their coach, Jason Jones. I think does a really nice job with that team. And I like their chances to definitely get through the sectional. I think they're pretty clearly the favorite down there this year. And you look at the teams they lost to. They lost to Silver Creek. All right, well, Silver Creek beats everybody. They lost to Fishers. All right, Fishers beats everybody. They lost to Lawrence North by 2 points. They lost to Plainfield. Plainfield has basically beaten everybody. So the teams they've lost to are all really good, and I think that can only help them. Moving into they won pretty easily against Scottsburg last night. They play Bedford tonight, and then most likely they're going to get their old nemesis rival Jeffersonville Saturday night. So we'll see. If Sharon Wilkerson and the defending champs have anything to say about that, but you got to like New Albany's chances there. Would it be the most shocking thing in the world to see Jeffersonville win Saturday? Maybe not. They've been close in a lot of games this year and have some pretty good wins. And, they're a much different team than last year, but I got to think New Albany is going to be the team to come out of sectional 15.
Yeah, well, it's always just fun. This is just a blast of a time of the year. I don't care if you're an adult or a student. It's just fun because you see good basketball, you see upsets, you see just excitement, disappointment, every range of emotions. It's and especially because when the students, they're emotional because you just are. You're young. You think this is it, man. I remember how much fun it was, but I also remember there were losses and it sucked. And I wasn't even playing. I hated to lose so much. I couldn't stand losing even if I wasn't on the team.
Well, it's one of those things, and it reminded me last night. You go from one locker room where it's just complete jubilation, and people screaming and yelling, and you hear the shouts, and then the doors open and everybody comes. I got a hug from an assistant coach last night. It's like they're just so happy they'll hug anybody. And then you go down the other end of the hallway, and there's parents. Or not parents, but coaches outside the locker room, heads down, and it's completely quiet, and kids come out crying, and it's one extreme to another, and literally, they could be 20 yards apart from each other. It's just not even that. It's just complete different dynamic, so close by. So, that's kind of the reality of sectional time. It's not like that in the regular season. Yeah, you do you have some happiness and anger, but it's just total. To the nth degree once you get to this round, especially because most of these teams are rivals. They know each other pretty well, and that adds to the element of wanting to beat each other so badly. So that to me is kind of the fun part of the sectional too. Is these teams that know each other so well, you can't even you can't scout these teams any better, I don't think, because you know each other so well, and then that adds another element of wanting to beat each other.
Man, I couldn't get it pulled down. Have you ever seen the movie Snatch?
I don't know that I have.
Oh man, it's a great movie. It's got just so many great characters in it, but the names of them are all incredible. But oh daggone it, what was I forget? Turkish. I think somebody uses the word nemesis. Do you know what nemesis is? And he gives a great soliloquy, and I couldn't get it pulled up quick enough, but. Man, I'll have it for you next week. Nemesis. I love that. And make sure go ahead.
You did it pretty well. I mean,
do you know what nemesis means? But he gives a great, it's like in, oh, daggone it. The other great movie with the long soliloquies, Pulp Fiction, where he's, when what's his name gives that long quote from the Bible.
Just one of those deals. But appreciate you. Make sure you're giving Kyle Neddenriep a follow and keeping up with all of the high school basketball tournament action that is going on right now. Appreciate you as always, brother.
No problem. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, sir. Kyle Neddenriep joining us. Up next, the man Roberto Kravitz joins us here on Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Jim Coyle back right after these messages. Indiana football accomplished what no other team ever has. Big Ten, Rose Bowl, Peach Bowl, and CFP national champions. The Hoosiers have etched their name into the history books as the first 16-0 team in the modern era. A limited edition of only 5,000 commemorative national championship footballs has been released. 3 full panels embossed and stamped with every championship logo and fully licensed. Get your piece of history today at NicoSports.com. That's NicoSports.com. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington has the deals for you, like great savings on the remaining 2025 Hondas. First-time buyers get more than expected. The Honda Civic and HR-V are the most popular vehicles for first-time buyers in the U.S. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington also has a quality selection of pre-certified used vehicles. And check out the selection of Andy Moore Honda Bloomington's 2026 models, like the Honda Passport, Honda CR-V Hybrid, Honda Ridgeline, and more. ISB Radio with Jim Coyle is brought to you exclusively on The Zone by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer. If you're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area, you need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage, and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
Bored, Bloomington? Dave and Buster's can fix that. Eat and drink your way through our all-new menu. Play half-price games every Sunday through Thursday. Watch all your team's wins on a 40-foot screen and 30 HD TVs. And level it up with the high-flying human crane that puts you in the game. Private game suites, our exclusive arena, and more. Only at Dave & Buster's on 731 South College Mall Road.
Do you know what Nemesis is? Welcome back, Indiana Sports Beat Radio on this Wednesday. Jim Coyle with you and joined by the incomparable Bob Kravitz. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm more fuzzy than incomparable today. I really need a shave badly.
As do I, but not as bad as you do. You look like
Yeah.
Fred Sanford. You got the Fred Sanford going on.
I'm coming to meet you. I'm coming to see you, Weezy, or whoever it was.
Look, Elizabeth. Dude, I got a buddy of mine. I got a buddy of mine that will send me just little clips of Fred Sanford, and it's just one of those. It will never not be funny. But I try to not. I finally broke down and have TikTok on my phone, but I'm not like I don't get in there because I know it's like going into a quicksand. You're not coming back out.
Oh, my wife lives on it.
Oh, dude, it's easy. But there's just one that and I'm sure you've seen it. It's where they tie the fake snake to the guy's ankle in golf. There's just no way that it's not funny. I mean, there's this one guy in particular that he's just dying. He can't He can't even get the words out. He's so distraught trying to get away from this thing. He's on the ground. He slams into the cart. Ah! Hit him! Hit him! Hit him! It's just, but yeah, some of them are funny. But yeah, I broke down and added it.
I'm a big stand-up fan, and I like listening to old stand-up comics. And Red Fox, who played Fred Sanford,
yeah,
he was one of the first great black comics. I mean, he's a great comic, but
yeah,
one of the
just
first
great
black
comic.
comics to really break through into the mainstream. You talk about a guy who worked blue. Oh my God, was he dirty? Ho, ho, ho. Yes, sir.
From St. Louis, baby.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Do you know what nemesis means? A righteous infliction of retribution manifested by an appropriate agent, personified, in this case, by horrible May.
Horrible. You did that well. Horrible.
Horrible. Hey, not bad, huh?
Yeah.
Have you seen Snatch?
No, never have. Never even heard of it.
Oh my God, are you kidding? You've got to, it's right up your alley, I promise you.
Okay.
It's got a litany of characters. Great. Brad Pitt is in it. You can't,
really?
yeah, he plays an Irish gypsy that boxes. He's funny. You can't understand hardly a word he says. The only two words I know is, yeah, I'll do the fight for today. And he wants a caravan for his mom.
I have the hardest time understanding accents. Indian accents just completely throw me for a loop. But heavy British.
That's one you got to get. That's the Indian accent is one. It just kind of rolls up and down. Oh, very good. Welcome. And I'm not making fun. It's just certain accents have ways of how they deliver the words, I think.
All right, enough accents. What's going on?
See, I saw your latest piece about Fernando. Yeah, we all know he's going to the Raiders. They're not. Yeah. I think you mentioned it. How many out of the last number one picks have been quarterbacks?
7 of the last 8 have been quarterbacks. I think it was 18 of the last 26, something like 20 of the last 26. Yeah, I mean, I was at the combine for a couple of days, and I heard some people start to question whether Fernando was worth the number one pick, and I just think it's the ultimate no-brainer. I think he's Jared Goff with wheels. I think he's better than Kirk Cousins, but I think he's going to be a very good NFL quarterback. I don't think there's any question. And if there are any questions about his mobility, I think he destroyed those with the way he played in the postseason, especially the national title game with that incredible run.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's answered every question that he needs to. 16-0. You've guided Indiana to a 16-0 finish, which that in and of itself should be worthy of the number one pick alone. But it's how he did it. I mean, did he have the tools? Yeah. I mean, the help? Yeah. He had guys. They're going to get drafted too. Omar Cooper's going to be a first-round draft pick. Elijah Sherratt might get drafted. I'm not sure if he's going to get in the drafts or not, but I think that he will. I don't know how fast he is which may catch up to him, but he's a good receiver. And then you've got Aiden Fisher and D'Angelo Pons, who's also
D'Angelo Pons was at the combine.
Dude, he's been a stud all year. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm just saying, he really showed
up. You forget that he's 5'9". You're like, screw it. You're like, the hell with that. Screw it. I don't care. I don't care if he's 2'9". That dude can just ball.
Well, that means that Ballard won't draft him because he doesn't have the traits.
Yeah,
he's not tall enough.
Yeah, he's not. He only breaks quarterbacks' ribs and sends them out of the game and knocks tight ends that are twice his size into the second row.
Yeah.
And then and just plays defense like he's Velcro. I've used that line a lot. He is just the interception against Oregon in the Peach Bowl. I mean, that's Velcro. First play of the game. Are you kidding me? Woo! That place. I had people that work down there or that work with the CFP said that never ever heard that building that loud.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I can imagine you have 95% of the fans and you start the game like that. Yeah, I guarantee you that was the loudest that Mercedes-Benz Stadium has ever been. And, speaking of all these guys, with that, I see a definite return to the CFP for Indiana next year. I haven't taken credit, but now I'm going to start taking. I am the Hoosier Damas for football for Indiana. I've been on them from the start.
You have.
I see a continuation. The interesting thing for me is how far can they go next year?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not suggesting a 16-0 season, but obviously it can happen.
It can happen. I mean, look, I agree. They're not going to go 16-0 again, but I don't see they got they got a lot of good guys coming back. The offensive line looks solid. Josh Hoover led the league in passing last year. They got
he has the most yards of anybody quarterback coming back, most touchdowns.
Right.
The most important thing is he's got 3 years of starting experience.
Right.
That's why that Alberto had to go elsewhere. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. That wasn't the plan, of course, but that's just the reality of it. Now you come to Indiana, you expect to play quarterback, you better have starting under your belt. But it makes you wonder, though, how does Indiana recruit quarterbacks going forward if that is what happens?
Yeah.
Do you just go there for a year or two of tutelage and say, hey, I'm going to go to school at Indiana for 2 years. I'm going to quarterback school for 2 years, and then I'll transfer someplace else.
Yeah, I don't see them recruiting quarterbacks. I mean, just go and get them in basically.
Well, they have. They are. That's the thing. They have and they are. But I wonder how we'll see how it continues. But looking forward, they get Ohio State at home.
Yeah.
If Ohio State lost to Indiana again, boy, oh boy, Ryan Day, they would just clam down on him because he had 5 years or whatever it was of losing to Michigan and then to lose to Indiana and haven't won a Big Ten title since 2020.
That's right. Hey, look, I mean, they're sitting pretty for next year, and I put nothing past Kurt Cignetti. Nothing. I will say, you talked about Hoosier Damas or whatever you termed yourself there. I remember when we were in French Lick, 2 years ago, and we're playing golf and we're just hanging out, and you said Indiana's going to win 10 games?
Yep.
11 games?
I think I went with 10 as my prognostication.
10, yeah. And the first thing I thought was Jim got into my stash. So I thought you were completely out of your mind, and then and I still thought you were out of your mind when they played start in the non-conference. I beat the hell out of everybody, but what does that prove? But they just kept getting better and better and better, and that's what impresses me most about the quarterback. I mean, Fernando, here in the second years, he just got better as the season went on. Just remarkable progress that he made.
Oh, he didn't throw a single touchdown pass in the first game, and yet obliterate. Of course, he obliterates the record with 16 games, but I think he broke it within the normal 12-game span.
Right, and how many fourth quarters did he play?
Oh yeah, for the first 3 games there were none.
because I don't know if he played in the fourth quarter of the first game.
Okay.
I can't remember, but
I
second
can,
game,
yeah.
no. Third game, no. Fourth game, no, because it was Illinois and they beat the crap out of them.
Right.
So,
right.
no.
I'll throw
So
in.
that's almost another entire game right there.
Right. Right.
So, but yeah, it is what they do. It is, they bring these guys in that are talented and basically get them to do what they're supposed to do. Just do their jobs. They just do their jobs. They do it right. They make few mistakes, and it's remarkable. I'm shocked that coaching staffs are not trying to send people in mass to Signetti, to the soothsayer. Yeah, but he's already said, yeah, I'm not big on company. I'm a film guy. I like to get in and study film. I don't have time for that, which I kind of love that answer. For one, he's like, why do I want to tell everybody else what the hell I'm doing to succeed? Because I'm kicking their ass right now. I'm not going to tell them how I'm doing it. Why would I?
Yeah, he's just thoroughly amazing. What blew me away about the Indiana team this year, and to a lesser extent the year before, they don't make mistakes. I mean, it's unbelievable how clean they play game after game after game. And I don't see any reason why that ought to change next season.
No, especially when you're bringing half of the same guys back.
Right. You know, I mean, Carter Smith, and yeah, they're sitting pretty, I think.
Absolutely, and it's just fun. It's fun to know. It has to be fun for the fans to know that their team's going to be good.
Yeah.
Their only question now is how good. How good are we going to be? Boy, do I wish that they had changed the rules so you had 2 first-round games at home, or the first 2 round games were at home.
Yeah.
Because Indiana will not get. I think that they're going to be a bye team again.
Really?
I mean, who's going to beat them? If they lost to Ohio State, and if they lost at Michigan, they're 10-2.
Yeah,
and
right
still in the freaking CFP.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying they're going to lose either of those games. Boy, that would how fun would it be to watch Indiana go to Michigan?
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. I still remember the game. Maybe you remember. I think it was in the 1980 season when IU had Michigan up against it, and they scored on a touchdown pass on the final play of the game at Michigan. Lee Corso just dropped his head. He just dropped down to his knees and looked toward the ground, and he was just devastated. Yeah, one thing I think is interesting, Jim, is here we are in early March, and we're talking about college football at Indiana University.
Talking about football.
Sure, we'll get to basketball, but we're not.
Part of it is because basketball is what it is.
What it is.
But Indiana is now a conversation. Indiana football, I should say, is now a year-round conversation. They have not stopped. They have been adding these pieces. The awards have continued. Brian Haynes winning the Broyles Award. Indiana basically takes every major award there was in college football.
That's right.
Which is that's staggering. I mean, it's the most impressive season that I think any team has had. Who's had a?
I agree. I mean, you know, I went through history, different sports, looking for something that matches it, that compares with what Signetti did this year, and last year, and I don't see any comps. I really don't. I mean, this is completely unique in any sport for a coach to not only come in and turn things around. I mean, other coaches have done that, but a team, an organization, a program with the history that Indiana University had, and to do what he did, I just don't see a comp in all of organized sports.
You are correct, sir. Bob Kravitz with me right now, and you can we're not going anywhere. I am just to take a break, but you can find him on Substack right now, as where I find him all the time. Musings of an old sports writer. Still got his beautiful little is it a caricature? What do you call that?
Caricature, yeah. I forgot to put it on there, my last column. I
was gonna say.
I just completely forgot to put it on there. But anyway, yeah.
So you have to add that every time? I'd make that sucker permanent.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. So,
Yeah, I don't know how to do it either. So you're right there. I can't help you. But I can help everybody else. We'll be back. We've got a few sponsors to take care of. Appreciate you being with us. Back with more right after these messages. Indiana football accomplished what no other team ever has. Big Ten, Rose Bowl, Peach Bowl, and CFP national champions. The Hoosiers have etched their name into the history books as the first 16-0 team in the modern era. A limited edition of only 5,000 commemorative national championship footballs has been released. 3 full panels embossed and stamped with every championship logo and fully licensed. Get your piece of history today at NicoSports.com. That's NicoSports.com.
Dave & Buster's Bloomington is the place to eat, drink, play, and watch. Enjoy half-price games Sunday through Thursday, plus a new menu and next-level upgrades like private game suites and the high-flying human crane. Only at Dave & Buster's Bloomington on South College Mall Road.
Zach Browning here to tell you about an offer you simply can't pass up. If you're looking for the best coverage of Indiana football and basketball, which includes recruiting, weekly chats, podcasts, as well as access to the best national team out there, then look no further than thehoosier.com. The best part, it's just $1 for the first week. Oh, and did I mention that you get a full year of access to The Athletic when you sign up? You can't beat the coverage and you can't beat the deal. So head over to thehoosier.com today and sign up for just $1. It'll be the best decision you ever made.
You're looking for a new home in the Indianapolis area? You need Cheryl Sizemore from Brick and Ivy Realty. Cheryl Sizemore has over 2 decades of experience, and that could be the difference in getting the home you want in today's tough housing market. Reach out to Cheryl at CherylSizemore@gmail.com or 317-701-0838. That's 317-701-0838. Let Cheryl Sizemore sell or find your new home today. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington has the deals for you, like great savings on the remaining 2025 Hondas. First-time buyers get more than expected. The Honda Civic and HR-V are the most popular vehicles for first-time buyers in the U.S. Andy Moore Honda Bloomington also has a quality selection of pre-certified used vehicles. And check out the selection of Andy Moore Honda Bloomington's 2026 models, like the Honda Passport, Honda CR-V Hybrid, Honda Ridgeline, and more. ISB Radio with Jim Coyle is brought to you exclusively on The Zone by Andy Moore Honda of Bloomington, Bloomington's #1 Honda dealer.
Bored, Bloomington? Dave & Buster's can fix that. Eat and drink your way through our new menu. Play half-price games every Sunday through Thursday. Watch your teams on the big screen and level it all up with the high-flying human crane. Private game suites and more, only at 731 South College Mall Road.
Do you know what nemesis means? A righteous infliction of retribution manifested by an appropriate agent. Personified in this case by an honorable cunt.
Well,
honorable what?
Edit. I think he says edit right there.
Okay.
Yeah. See you next Tuesday. But no, this is Wednesday. So, but no, that's one of my favorite movies. I love the.
I'll have to check it out.
Oh, dude, you will absolutely. I'm telling you, you will love it. It is just, it's funny. And then, of course, my go-to is The Big Lebowski.
I love The Big Lebowski.
I mean, nothing gets.
Let the bleep up, Donnie.
This is not Nam. This is bowling. There are rules.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I love that. And
your partner. It's the whole world. God.
Yeah, that can't let that one keep going. But yeah, I love. I just let's see.
You should never underestimate the predictability of stupidity.
That is
Ain't that the truth?
Boy, yeah, that's from Snatch. I forgot about that one. That's a t-shirt. You should never underestimate the predictability of stupidity. That's a t-shirt, baby.
Yeah, it is.
That's a t-shirt. Basketball tourney time, boys of basketball in high school, man. It's at it right now. You heard with Kyle Neddenriep on it earlier, but Big Ten basketball starts all the conference tournaments. As a matter of fact, probably some of the smaller ones are probably going on right now.
Right, Horizon League.
Yeah. So get some TV time. But the big boys next week, and for certain teams, Indiana being one of those, it's probably going to be a last chance for them to make the NCAA tournament. Right now, they are basically. Well, I think they're one spot out. Someone said earlier that the bracket matrix has them as an 11 seed right now.
That's what I saw. I saw Lenardi had them as the last.
Yeah, but someone else pointed out that he has been the last few years one of the least accurate predictors. Mike DeCourcy, our friend, he does not have them in. I think they're the first team out, though.
Yeah,
they could play their way in, and losing to Northwestern cost them basically.
No doubt.
I mean, they could have beaten Nebraska, and that would have been a win that kept them in as well. But losing to Northwestern at home, there's no excuse for it, and it's in essence going to cost Indiana potentially. They may need to go to Ohio State and get a win there. If they do that, I think that they're in. The Big Ten tournament, a win there would be nice if they beat Ohio State. If you don't beat Ohio State, boy,
you better win a game or two. You better win a game or two in the Big Ten tournament.
If you don't beat Ohio State, you have to win 2 in the Big Ten tournament.
That game against Ohio State is essentially, I mean, they're a bubble team too. So that's a massive game for both teams.
It absolutely. Unfortunately for Indiana, it is on the road. They play tonight, though, at home against Minnesota, a team that they lost to, Bob, early in the season, which was a little bit of a surprise. But I think that was the welcome to the Big Ten meeting for most of these guys. They have never been played in a Big Ten game. I think that was the first road Big Ten game, if I recall correctly. Maybe it was the second. But either way, the introduction to the barn, Minnesota outplayed them. Minnesota's beat some good teams this year. They've got 3 quad 1 wins.
Yeah, they have. And their coach, what's his name again? Medved?
Yeah, Medved.
Nico Medved. He's done a really nice job. Well,
I mentioned earlier, I was looking at the damn standings. They're tied with USC in the Big Ten Conference standings, which USC is right now in the tournament. So that's how Minnesota is going to miss the tournament.
Right.
But it's because they lost just a few games probably are going to end up costing them from getting in to the NCAA tournament. But they're going to play their ass off tonight.
Yeah,
they'll be heading to the Crown, if nothing else.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's really simple. It's a simple calculation with IU. And you know this better than anybody. If they're hitting their threes, they got a shot. If they're not hitting their threes, they got no shot. It's a real simple calculation for IU.
Well, and a big part of that, though, is because those are coming from 2 guys, Lamar Wilkerson and Tucker DeVries. They're not getting anything from anybody else. They got outscored from the bench 22-0 against Michigan State. You've got Tayton Cotterway coming off the bench and not playing as much. I think he should be starting. The other night I saw him, and I talked about this earlier, but it was one possession late in the game where they kind of need to score. You're still within reach, and you're like, you need to get a bucket here, and boom, ball up the floor, inbounds, one pass, and then a pass down into the corner to, I believe it was either Dorn or Miles, but up goes a 3. And I'm like, What the hell are you doing? You're
Right.
maybe 7 seconds into the shot clock.
I
Half
do
your
remember
team
that.
is not even down the freaking floor. You need to score here, and that's the shot you think you should put up.
No,
I
no.
think that is a product of being zero discipline as far as they're all gas and no brakes. They're
Yeah.
all have a green light, which is fine. It's kind of hard to say, well, you've got a green light, except, well, it's up to you to have enough sense
Right.
when to not take that shot.
Time and score, baby.
Basketball
Time.
IQ.
So explain something to me. Why doesn't Trent Sisley ever play?
Everybody's asking that, and I
don't know the answer.
I don't have a definitive answer. My guesses has been that the Big Ten is. I watched that Michigan State game close the other night, and their bigs are just so stout.
Yeah,
And
they
that
are.
he's obviously going to end up on one of them, and that's a tough ask.
That's
but his
one game.
shooting
How
kind of
about-
went away a little bit. But I think he needs to be getting minutes, if
I
for
do too.
nothing else, for next season.
Yeah.
You got to start planning this, man. But it's a question that none of us have the answer to. I mean, Dayton Conaway was a starter. He
Yeah.
got hurt, but
Yeah.
apparently he's healthy now. Why is he not starting in lieu of Connor Enright, who's played well, don't get me wrong, but often does not provide scoring and most of the time does not have the ability to get to the rim. And that's something that Dayton Conaway definitely can do.
Yeah. No, I wonder about Sisley. I mean, I don't know the kid at all, but if I'm him, I'm looking at other opportunities. If I'm not going to play, I mean, I don't want him to transfer. I think he's still got a chance to be a very nice piece for IU, but you got to think he's very frustrated at this point.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you're a competitor. You want to play. You're
Yeah.
hell. He's been playing his whole life. He's never not played. He was a starter at Montverde, one of the top schools in the country. So, hell yeah, he wants to play and probably deserves to play. So, we'll see. I think that he's tough enough that he will fight through this, where a lot of players would do that, would go elsewhere. That's the thing though. It shouldn't be that damn easy. And I'm not saying that he would. I don't think that he would. I think that he stays. I think he.
I hope you're right.
At least for another season.
Right.
And then you find out, okay, am I a part of this, or am I a part of this plan or not? And if
Right.
not, it's okay. I'll move on.
Right. Yeah. I think that'd be the best thing for him, and I like to see kids fight through stuff. I mean, too often they just want to run and find something, they think the grass is greener and they find out that it's not, or that they just don't have the game that they need to have. So yeah, I hope he sticks around.
But like Miles has been getting his minutes.
Yes, he has.
And someone says that they heard in practice that he's out playing Sisley, and whether that's true or not, well, that should be the truth. He should be out playing Trent. Trent's a freaking freshman.
Right.
Miles is not. Miles was brought in to play.
Yeah.
So yeah, he should be, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't have more minutes. I mean, they have a very tight roster, man.
Yeah, he's been buried, man. He's been buried.
Well, that's a fact. So, what's up next for you?
Well, we got the Big Ten tournament coming up. We got the Colts situation is very fluid. They need to make a decision by Monday as to whether they're going to sign a long-term deal with Alec Pierce. Now we wait on offers to come in for Daniel Jones. So I'm monitoring that the best I can and trying to figure out what exactly their plan is, because right now I don't understand what in the hell they're doing.
I hear you, brother. Well, make sure you're following our friend Bob Kravitz.
Appreciate that.
Well, of course, be a subscriber like me. And make sure you hit the like button on social media for all of this stuff. But we appreciate you. Bob appreciates you. I appreciate you. Well, are you going to Chicago?
I don't think so. I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Final Four in Indianapolis this year. So
Yeah, I'll
we
be
got
there.
that to look forward to. Me
Yeah.
as well.
That'd be great.
That's going to wrap it up. Appreciate each and every one of you. Stick around for Glass. Enjoy your day. We're back tomorrow. I think that the Laskowski boys will be there tonight for the post-game show. And until tomorrow, I'm Jim Coyle. I will see you on the radio.
Thanks for listening to Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page for more clips and team coverage of Indiana basketball, football, and more. You can also find full episodes and tons of other content on thehoosier.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Indiana Sports Beat Radio.